They signed me up as a joke. I wasn't supposed to sing. Not really. I was the quiet black girl in the back row, the one with hand-me-down shoes and a cracked voice that only came alive when no one was listening. When Brooklyn and Lisa told me I should totally perform, I knew what they were doing. Everyone did. They wanted to laugh. They wanted me to embarrass myself. But I said yes, because deep down, I knew something they didn't. My voice wasn't perfect, but it was real. It carried pain, hope, nights alone while Mama worked double shifts, and mornings filled with dreams I wasn't supposed to have. So when I stepped onto that stage, heart pounding and knees shaking, I didn't sing for them. I sang for me. And when the music started and I opened my mouth, the room went silent. No more smirks, no more whispers, just open mouths and wide eyes. By the time I finished, the people who once laughed were on their feet, because sometimes the very voice they tried to silence becomes the one they can't ignore. And that night, I didn't just perform, I became unforgettable. She stood behind the curtain, nervously clutching the microphone, her small hands trembling just enough for her to feel it, but not enough for anyone else to notice. 8-year-old Amara Johnson wasn't supposed to be on that stage. Not really. When the flyer for Jefferson Elementary's annual talent show went up, she hadn't even planned to sign up. She liked to sing, but only in her room, into a hairbrush, while staring at posters of Beyoncé and Whitney Houston. But it was Lisa and Brooklyn, the girls who always laughed at her scuffed shoes and mismatched clothes, who approached her with a smile that didn't reach their eyes. "You should totally sign up, Amara," Brooklyn had giggled. "You have such a unique voice." Lisa snorted. "Yeah, the judges will love it." She knew it wasn't a compliment. She knew it was a setup, but something inside her, maybe stubbornness, maybe the quiet fire her Grandma Ruth always said she had, nudged her forward. So she wrote her name on the sign-up sheet, even as the girls whispered behind her back. In the days leading up to the show, Amara practiced every evening after finishing her homework. She'd found an old karaoke CD at the thrift store and played it on repeat, humming quietly so her mom, who worked night shifts at the nursing home, wouldn't hear and worry. The house was small, and privacy was almost impossible, but that didn't matter. When she sang, the world disappeared. Backstage, her sneakers tapped nervously against the gym floor. Through the curtain crack, she could see parents in folding chairs, phones ready. The stage lights were harsh and white, and the sound of laughter filled the air. Not cruel, just casual. It made her stomach twist anyway. The MC, a fifth grader named Mateo, announced her name with a grin. "Up next, Amara Johnson, singing something special." There was a strange emphasis on special, and she could hear a few chuckles ripple through the audience. Someone in the front row whispered, "Isn't that the little girl from room 1B? The quiet one?" Amara stepped onto the stage. For a second she froze. The lights blinded her, and all she could hear was the faint buzz of the microphone and her heart pounding in her ears. Then she remembered her grandma's words from a long time ago. "Don't ever let anyone make you small, baby. Not when your voice was made to rise." She exhaled. The music began. She started slow. Her voice was soft, almost hesitant, but then it grew, richer, deeper, fuller. A hush fell over the audience. People who had been chatting lowered their phones. One by one, heads turned. Even the parents who had only come to see their own children were suddenly alert, drawn in by something they didn't expect. Amara didn't just sing, she owned the stage. The notes came alive, every word soaked in emotion far beyond her age. Her voice climbed and soared, trembling with soul and strength, like a storm breaking through silence. She sang not for applause, not for praise, but because she had to. Like the song was something living inside her that finally found a way out. When she hit the final high note, there was a long, stunned silence. Then, an eruption. The gym exploded with applause. The principal stood. A teacher wiped tears from her eyes. Even Lisa and Brooklyn sat frozen in the front row, jaws slightly open. They didn't clap. Not at first. They just stared, as if trying to make sense of what just happened. Backstage, Amar handed the mic to a stunned Mateo and walked off, head high. That night, her mother came home to find her already asleep, her face peaceful. She didn't know that the school's Facebook page had posted the full video. She didn't know it had been shared hundreds of times by morning. She didn't know that a retired vocal coach who lived 2 states over had seen it and messaged the school. What she did know was that, for once, no one laughed. And Amara, she wasn't just the quiet girl anymore. She was the girl who sang like a storm, who turned a joke into a standing ovation, and she would never sing with her head down again.